Gatchaman!
So here we are, finally, after all this time. This is the final Simple 2000 video. The final one, Volume 20. This is the final video where I'll be looking at the final Simple 2000 series that I will be looking at. And that is the Simple Characters 2000 series. A series from the Simple 2000 series. If I can't say that enough, it'll be the last time I can say it. That was exclusively for the PlayStation 1. It was a rarity in that regard, that it was, again, only for the PlayStation 1. As all of the other Simple 2000 series video games were on the PlayStation 2, this series was on the PlayStation 1. And it was all based around anime. Anime, manga, I think it is mainly anime. But yeah, based around anime characters. Anime properties. So obviously none of these games were going to get released outside Japan, unless that property was, I guess, marketable over there, but it obviously wasn't, and it would have gone through probably a lot more hoops and hurdles to get it licensed in the West. But yeah, each and every single one of these characters games, and that's the reason why I assume they're called characters, because they're based off characters from anime. Yeah, it's based off quite a lot old anime. So some of the animes in this collection I recognize, and then some of them I'm just like, oh, I don't know what that is. So, either way, there's 17 games in this collection, and we're gonna be looking at all 17. I hope you enjoy. Let's go. Now, the first game in this collection, that is Volume 1, is the Gunjin Shogi Kidou Senshi Gundam. So, in case you're wondering what this is, it's Shogi with Gundam models. That's pretty much what it is. Here's a Shogi board. Each of the Gundam models represent a Shogi tile, whether general or whatever of those. And I'm not familiar with Shogi. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I am not familiar with Shogi in the slightest. But the series this is based on is the original Mobile Suit Gundam, not any other series, the original series, which I found interesting because that's the series I've seen. I've seen the original Mobile Suit Gundam series, or at least I watched the compilation films anyway, so at least I was familiar to a degree. But once again, I don't know how to play Shogi, so I couldn't really do much. Surprisingly though, somehow I managed to win. Who knows how, but I managed to win and take down the general. I was just moving pieces around randomly until I decided, hey, why don't I just go directly for the general? And somehow that worked. Maybe the CPU is just stupid, who knows. But yeah, so you attack pieces, you see little animations and that. Yeah, it's okay. So no Mahjong to start it off, but don't get me wrong, there is going to be Mahjong in this. Of course there is. It's fucking the Simple series. Of course Mahjong is going to be in here. So instead, this time around, they thought they would start it off with Shogi, where Shogi's normally like Volume 2, isn't it? So yeah, I guess it's okay for a Shogi game. Like I said, I don't know how to play, so I can't really say my enjoyment of it, if I'll be honest. Next up, we have a weird one, and the reason I say it's a weird one is I don't know if this was actually based off any anime. This is the reason why I said most of them were based off anime and not all of them, because I don't know with this one. This is Volume 2, Afro Inu The Puzzle. Yeah, Afro Inu. Yeah, and oh, look at this gameplay here. This looks interesting, doesn't it? Yeah, this looks very familiar. Yeah, because this is the same gameplay that Destructo 2 had. Remember Destructo 2? Or The Puzzle 2, I think it was called, as part of the Simple 1500 series. This was the game that was released by Phoenix Games, remember? Destructo 2. Yeah, it's the same gameplay, but this time around you're just a dog and you're just going around taking on, trying to match up puffballs. So the general concept of this game is that you got to get 4 or more puffballs in a row, and you move them around by moving yourself around. And when they get close, you jump on top of them, and then it causes them to go. And obviously you get combos through the more pairs that you get. So you see the yellow one there, boom, got that one. There was nothing else I could get, but I see. Oh look, there's a chance that I don't know where I'm going here, actually. Oh, there you go, the pink one. That's what I was going for. See, even I don't remember. But yeah, it's really strange. this game, and it's really strange the source material it's based off, because this is the only one part of the series where I'm pretty sure it's not based off an anime, at least as far as I know. I couldn't find any information on this series as a whole, so yeah, it's just strange all around. So yeah, as a puzzle game, it's okay. It's about as good as Destructo 2 was. It's it's one of those games where I don't really know what I'm doing, but I just randomly am able to just clear through and get through it. You have the same water hazard as before, in that stay in the water and you'll drown and whatnot. But yeah, like look at this little animation. It's like two people there, and then what's that? Oh, it's an afro. Like the whole entire premise of this is that these dogs have afros, and no one knows why. So next up is Volume 3, Kamen Rider. Yeah, Kamen Rider, the bike race. Literally pick your Kamen Rider, pick a track and go. That's literally it, and yeah, it plays like some of the other like simple 1500 series racing games. Yeah, because I'm going to be comparing it to some of them, because again, they're on the PlayStation as well at the end of the day. And this was developed by Highway Star, so they did racing games. I'm pretty sure Highway Star was the one that did Zero Yon. So yeah, it is literally a bike racing game featuring Kamen Rider characters. The racing mechanics, I guess, are okay. They're very basic. You can drift on the bike, because why wouldn't you be able to do that? Apparently I'm going 630 kilometers an hour. I imagine that'd be way too fast for any normal human ride. That's like that's not even Formula 1 cars. You don't even go that fast. But yeah, it's a bit of a strange racing game, really. You go around just, at the moment I'm just trying to knock these guys off. You can I got a power up there, it's boosted me a little bit, but yeah, I haven't really got much to say about this, if I be completely honest. It's just an okay racing game. There isn't anything special about it, and that's really it, if I be completely honest. I'm not really familiar with Kamen Rider. I only know of Kamen Rider, and yeah, it is a series I would like to explore someday. But yeah. Next up we have Volume 4, the Hanafuda Jarinkochi. Yeah, it's based off a series called Jarinko Chie. Never heard of the series, and yeah, it's Hanafuda. It's just standard Hanafuda. It's literally the same as what you would get on the Simple 1500 series. Plays absolutely fine, highlights the cards that you can go for, so it gives you kind of like a hand in what to select next. Yeah, it's okay. I'm versing a cat here. Why not? Yeah, what else do you want me to say? It's Hanafuda, it functions, it's fine. Next up we have Volume 5, the Table Hockey High School Kinem Gumi. Again, another series I'm not familiar with. Apparently it's something to do with a funny-faced high school or something along those lines. Where each of the characters have a weird face. And yeah, it's literally air hockey. Table hockey, I guess you would call it. I guess they would call it. And that's all it is. It's just air hockey. But I can pick a cake to be the board. I don't know what's going on. It has the same issues as the Simple 1500 series table hockey game. Literally the same issues. It kind of, once again, feels like you shouldn't really make a video game off of this. It doesn't really work. The controls are the literal same as the 1500 series game. Yeah, I haven't really got much else to say about it. It just doesn't work as a video game. Or if you really wanted to have it as a video game, it would only work with a mouse as a control scheme. Only a mouse, because only with a mouse can you simulate being able to move the paddle around. That's all I can think of, because I don't know what the issue is. Maybe the paddle's too fast, maybe it's too slow, maybe I just can't get it right, maybe, I don't know. I just don't feel like it works as a video game. That's just my opinion anyway. The next up is Volume 6, the Mahjong Dokonjou Gaeru. Again, another series I'm not familiar with, and it's I told you Mahjong would sneak its way in here, didn't I? It's Mahjong. It's literally the same Mahjong as Volume 1 of the Simple 1500 series. Still green, still same tiles, still the same winning method. It's Ricci style Mahjong. That's all I really have to say about it. I'm not going to spend any more time on it. It plays fine, okay? Next up is Volume 7, The Quiz, Ikkyuu-san. Another series I'm not familiar with, and it's a quiz one, which means there's no chance of me making any progress in this game whatsoever. Because it's literally just, here's a bunch of answers in kanji that I don't understand, questions I don't understand, and I just wing it and guess a random answer. Maybe it's correct, maybe it's not. It's yeah. That's literally it. So yeah, I guess the series is based around a young Buddhist monk or something, kid. Yeah, I don't know, but anyway, yeah, it's quiz. It's about quizzes. You won't be able to play it. There's no point. Next up is Volume 8, The Shooting, Kagaku Ninja Tai Gatchaman. Yeah, it's Gatchaman, and yeah, if you haven't realized already, it is in the description. The OST that I'm featuring is Gatchaman Crowds. Haven't seen the anime, I put it on my list to watch. Really good OST, by the way, really, really good. So anyway, let's talk about this game. It's basically a scrolling shooter, and it's actually pretty good. It seems like quite entry-level stuff. I actually did a fairly decent job. I didn't actually get hit once during my entire time playing through the first level, which is the level I played through. And yeah, it's quite interesting now. You can walk on foot and shoot lasers, and you go in your ship and you're shooting. It's okay. You know, I like the art style on it as well. I haven't really got anything negative to say about this game. It's pretty good, actually. Pretty fun little vertical shooter. Not really my type of games, but I was surprised. I did pretty well. Like I said, I didn't get hit once during my time playing the first level, or my time playing this game in general. I didn't get hit at all. Yeah, not too bad. I'm not really, like I said, I'm not really familiar with Gatchaman, but I am planning to watch Gatchaman Crowds, and if I really like it, I might even watch the sequel anime. Who knows? But yeah, not too bad of a game. Not too bad. Next up is Volume 9, The Suri, Tsurikichi Sampei, another series I'm not familiar with, and it's based around fishing, so that's the game, literally, and it's not a very good fishing game. Look at this, you know, it's not very interesting. You got this kind of weak backdrop, you're watching your lure, it goes under, and then you play a game of, like, a tug of war with the fish until you eventually catch it. Yeah, and that's the game. I've played much more interesting fishing games, and no, there is no 3D models of the fish or anything. You just get a 2D graphic of the fish you caught, and the 2D graphics of each fish look identical no matter what the size is. It just tells you what the size is in text. It's not particularly great. No, not really. Definitely not one of the better fishing games out there. It's kind of basic. Really basic. Next up is Volume 10, The Dodgeball, Sakigaki Otoko. Yeah, remember this? You know, I did a whole video on this, on the video games of this series, and I purposely skipped this game because I wanted to include it in this video instead. It's Dodgeball. When I say it's Dodgeball, I mean it's literally the same exact game as the Simple 1500 series Dodgeball game. Maybe there's some specials in here as well. Yeah, of course the character models are the same as the ones from the anime series and the manga series. But yeah, it's pretty much the same. You can do like melee attacks and whatnot. I'm not very good at it, if I'm being completely honest. I'm not, because I don't know how to do the special attacks, and the special attacks always knock out one of my guys. They're hard to dodge. I can't grab the ball. So yeah, of course I'm fated to lose each and every time because I don't know how to do the specials. But yeah, again, I've said it before in the Simple 1500 series video, is I don't believe Dodgeball inherently works as a video game. Maybe as if it was on the Wii with motion controls. VR, it does. You know, the whole VR thing in the Rec Room on the PC, that's fine. It works in that regard. But yeah, in this regard, when you're using it as a PlayStation 1 controller, I don't think it really works. It's not good. But it's too bad Sakigaki Tokujuku didn't get a better game. But maybe they thought Dodgeball would fit better. They're manly men, and Dodgeball is meant to be the manliest of men's sport when you're back in school. I don't know. Yeah, maybe that's the thing. But yeah, not particularly good in my eyes. Not particularly good. Next up, we have Volume 11, which is the board game Meitantei Conan, or Detective Conan as you're more familiar with, or even as it's officially called in the West, Case Closed. I was actually kind of surprised seeing this series on here, because I was thinking that the series that they featured on this Simple Characters 2000 series was lesser known series, but maybe they are popular series as well, because Detective Conan is still ongoing even today, which is ridiculous. Kind of like Hajime no Ippo, right? So, Detective Conan is about, I believe, a detective that gets turned into a boy due to some curse or something. I'm not familiar with Detective Conan, I'll be honest. I've never seen any of the movies, and I've never watched any of the anime or read any of the manga. I wouldn't mind looking at some of the video games at some point, but that's about it, really. But in case you're wondering what this game is, it's basically Sugoroku. That's what it is. It's Sugoroku, and it's not even good Sugoroku, because I don't even understand what exactly I'm supposed to be doing. With other Sugoroku games, I didn't have any issue playing them. But with this game, I don't really know what's happening. You know, you have these orange tile spaces with the little swiggly lines on them, and I'm like, well, what's that for? And then you land on a blank space, and you put a card down on that space. I think the orange spaces attack you, whereas the spaces with the green like magnifying glass thing allows you to pick up a card, I think, or something. It's kind of weird. I didn't really know what was happening most of the time, if I be completely honest. You also have destinations you can stop off at, which I think restores your HP, because you have HP in this, and when you run out of HP, that's game over, and I actually gamed over twice, if I remember correctly. For reasons I do not understand. Again, I had no clue what I was doing. This is probably one of the least non-Japanese friendly Sugoroku games I've played. The one that's a part of the Simple 1500 series is better in my eyes, because that's more user-friendly. Even the Hello Kitty one I played was more user-friendly, even though I'd say that even that game was less not as bland as this is. This just feels really bland. But yeah, so the Detective Conan, the board game, it's not really that good, if I'll be honest, and yeah, if you don't speak Japanese, I think you're going to have a tough time playing. Next up, we have Volume 12, which is The Battle, Kidou Butouden Gundam. Yeah, it's a fighting game, and it features, I believe, which is, was it Mobile Fighter G Gundam, I think is what it is. So yeah, it's a fighting game, it features 6 playable characters, and yeah, it's pretty good for what it is. Developed by Natsume and Bandai, I think. Yeah, it's not too bad. I actually had a bit of fun playing this game. The only thing about this game that's a bit strange is apparently this game is a half port of Gundam Battle Assault 2. Now, if you don't know, Gundam Battle Assault 2 was a Western exclusive game. But the original Battle Assault was released in Japan and got localized in the West, but Battle Assault 2 was a Western-only game, and it's also considered to be the better game. And it's funny because apparently it did come to Japan, but instead they split the game into 2 because that original game, Battle Assault 2, had both Butouden G Gundam, a suit fighter Gundam G, whatever you want to call it, and Gundam Wing. So they decided to split the 2 series in half and have Gundam G as one game and Gundam Wing as another, and call it The Battle and have it be a part of the Simple Characters 2000 series. Now that's funny. But yeah, besides that, this game's okay. It's not too bad, if I be completely honest. It's a pretty fun fighting game. You know, I'm not really into these types of fighting games where you got to put off loads of combos. My thumbs get tired really quickly. But yeah, it's a pretty decent fighting game, if I be honest. The next game is Volume 13, which, not surprisingly, is The Battle Kidou Senki Gundam W, which is Gundam Wing. It's basically Gundam Wing, and this is the other half of Battle Assault 2. Like I said, they split this one game into 2 games. I think the one game had 12 playable characters. Across 2 games, it's now 6 playable characters in each game. Yeah, I don't know why they did this again, but yeah, in case you're wondering how it plays identical to the other battle games, Volume 12. There's no difference really. Each character obviously plays differently, but besides that, it's still pretty good. The controls are pretty good. This character, Death Scythe, doesn't seem... I don't know if he's got any combos, but I couldn't seem to pull any off just by mashing buttons, but whatever. Yeah, but besides that, I haven't really got much else to say. It plays exactly the same as the previous game. It's still pretty good, you know? That's it. You ready for quite possibly the worst game in this series? Volume 14, The Jigsaw Puzzle, Nan Tenhanete Idol. I don't even know how to pronounce that. It's a jigsaw game. That's all it is. And you have real models, like this in here, as well as having cartoon models based off, I guess, the anime or manga it's based off of. Who knows? I've never heard of this series before, but that's all this is. It's jigsaw puzzles. Here's some cleavage for you. That's basically what this is. And it's just, yeah. You just pick a picture. Looks like there's some unlockable pictures, and then you have a jigsaw puzzle to do on it, and that's it. It's really, really trash. Next up is Volume 15, which is The Block Kuzashi Cyborg 009. Of course there's got to be a Block Kuzashi game in here, right? Of course there has to be a Block Kuzashi game in here. I'm not really familiar with Cyborg 009, alright? I watched, I think, the 2009 film. Funny, yeah, 2009, yeah. Yeah, the 2009 film, and I barely remember the events of that film, and that's it, really. So, yeah, who knows? I can't really say what Cyborg 009 is about. If you're interested, go look it up. But yeah, it's Block Kuzashi, and it's probably one of the most boring Block Kuzashi games out there. It's really bland, and that's all I have to say. Next up is Volume 16, The Puzzle Action Ganba no Boken. I don't know what about this is a puzzle exactly. You basically go around this this grid, which isn't really a grid. All the enemies move on a grid, but you don't, which is strange. And you got to go around and get points, and you get points by smashing basically different objects into different enemies. So you got rat enemies, you got cat enemies. The cat enemies move faster, but it's only once they've seen you. Once you're in their line of sight, they will run towards you, and it's very hard to dodge them. And that's the game. That's literally the game. It's like, oh, the cat enemy saw me. I'm trying to run. As you can see here, I got caught on the geometry of the game just then, because the enemies themselves move on. Like, this is what I mean. The enemies themselves move on a grid, but you don't. If you moved on a grid, you wouldn't get caught on the geometry necessarily. Like there, I thought I turned in enough time to get past that, but I got clipped on the fucking barrel. Yeah, it's not a good game, is this? If I be honest, it's not good. I don't understand why the enemies are on a grid, but you're not. That is my biggest concern with this game. It makes no sense, and it makes me think I'm at a disadvantage because of it. It's just strange, because sometimes you turn to throw a barrel at an enemy, and you're just so slightly off that the barrel just clips through them and smashes against the wall and doesn't hit them, and you're like, oh, okay, because that's the thing. Yeah, not great, not great. And here we have the final game, Volume 17, which apparently is the only game which deserved its own anime intro, strangely enough. Yeah, I don't really get that. And that is the racing action, Sento Mecha Zarbuncle. Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce it, right? Zarbuncle, I think it's pronounced. It's Xabungle. I don't get that. I don't know how to pronounce it. But yeah, it's a racing game. It's a racing game where you're in a mech and you're running across, basically, in 2D, as you can see here, against these other mechs. It's really weird. It's one of the strangest racing games I've played. I was like, okay, so you run around in a mech suit. It's a very slow racing game, and you've got to shoot at the enemies to slow them down so you can get ahead of them. Really weird. And surprisingly, I won. I actually managed to win the first stage, but the whole entire premise was really, really weird for me. The controls are weird. You can jump and boost ahead like here, and just... yeah, this really strange... idea for a racing game, if I be completely honest. But not terrible. It's just, again, the whole entire thing for this was, for me, weird. Again, another series I've never heard of. So, yeah. Anyway, it's okay. And there we go. That is all 17 volumes of this Simple Characters 2000 series, and the final Simple 2000 series I'll ever be covering. Don't get me wrong, there's other Simple series out there, but this is the last Simple 2000 series I'll be covering. It's been a long road, but we still got some Simple series to look at along the way. The Simple 1500 series is obviously long since gone, but I've still got the Simple DS series to look at, the Simple PSP series, yeah, the Simple Wii series. I've got a few to look at that I want to look at, so yeah. But anyway, yeah, it was quite enjoyable playing through these games. Some games are better than others, as per usual for this. At least it's more interesting than the Simple 1500 Jigsaw series, that's all I can say. But yes, I've been Bio. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Please like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.